Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, folks. Welcome to Code It Live. This is the .NET Dev Show. It's Thursday. I'm your host, Sam Basu. All right, let's get a little bit of background music going first. Let's see. The chill station sounds about right. This actually is the second stream or so that I've done this year. I normally do Thursdays and Fridays, but we started off the year slow, and then we had a big conference last week, so just catching up and getting started. Welcome again to Code It Live. I think we are kind of getting started with things here. This is the .NET Dev Show. We're going to talk about .NET and MAUI and where things are headed. We actually had, there are several big releases going on. So let's kind of break this down. I do want to refresh my bits because I work for Progress Software. We have the Telerik release that's out as of yesterday. But this kind of rides on top of .NET MAUI, right? Or at least like our MAUI suite. We do a lot of different things across different products. But if I look at MAUI, where things are, the font is way too big here. So they have been working on the docs quite a bit, a lot of updates going in, which was much needed. And in terms of where things stand, let me see if I can pull this up. Okay, so preview 11, right? Isai 511, where in the world is this stream is from? Oh, we were just talking about it. I am from Northwest Pennsylvania. So good to see you. I'm Sam. And this is Code It Live with our usual friends at this time of the morning. I see Layla and C# Fritz. Those folks are also streaming, so I'm glad you're here. We're talking about .NET and we're talking about .NET MAUI. So before we went into the holiday season, the MAUI preview 11 bits were out, but they held back a little bit because Visual Studio 2022 17.1 preview 2, it's a mouthful. They had some issues with it, so they held back the release a little bit, but you could still get the MAUI bits through command line. But they opened up the year with Visual Studio Update landing, and that brought with it preview 11. And as of last night, I think I bookmarked it actually, right here. As of last night, preview 2 is out too. Why would you sound like a scammer? Why am I a scammer? Sorry if I'm offending you in any way. I'm just here, just trying to do my thing. Preview 12 has dropped as of last night. This is David Ortno again with the team, and he kind of makes it clear that they're getting towards an RC release candidate in the next couple of months. So things are getting fairly stable. A lot of things are updated documentation, stabilizing the bits, bug fixes, general quality improvements, essentially. So this is out, and I don't think a whole lot in terms of just how like MAUI bootstraps, those things have changed, but they definitely had some work going into the shell. This is the thing that gives you the navigation out of the box. Like they talked about the podcast tab, which has those like tabs at the bottom. That's apparently done through a shell. So navigation and some of those things you kind of get for free if you're doing the shell. It's never quite been like my thing. I like to kind of have full control over the navigation, but I mean, it's a great starting point. So that's out. You can actually bring in with a DI now, which is nice, add singleton. So you can bring in your main view models and your views through, like register them as the app is starting up. So that's nice. So that's where things are. Now, I was doing a conference last week and I was trying to play around with the bits. One of the things that has changed actually is in preview 11, they finally got to this. Foolish Neville, you're here. Hello. How does DI affect startup performance on a mobile device? That's $1 million question. Let's see, is my highlighting thing working today? Yes. All right. So, hello, Foolish Nabble. So, what Fool is referring to is a thing that we have always talked about. And, there is no right or wrong. You can fall on either side of this argument. But dependency injection is a way for you to not new up things like by hand, like hard coding things to say new. And I can show you some code on how we do that. Let's actually pull this up. So hold on while we are talking, because I do want to talk about this a little bit more. Let me pull up my terminal, make that bigger. All right, and let's go to, not Prockets, geez. All right, and I have MAUI 11 hello. That's the preview 11 bits. Okay, so let's pull this up while we're talking about like what the code is. Like if I do a .NET new MAUI, this is kind of what you get. When the app starts up, you see that thing here. Let's close this. Right, you see that? Excuse me. So when the app starts up, you get things like new main page, and you can do new view model. Is a 511. I'll get to Android in a second. But actually, yes, absolutely, you absolutely can do Android. All of your platforms are good to go. So if I go back to the docs here, where was that? Let's go to the MAUI docs. Sorry, I'm jumping around, but yes, you can do iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac, which is good. Back to the DI question. So you are newing up things here by default in the default template, and I think it's fine. But if you wanted the plug and play thing, then you want to be able to inject these things into as the app is bootstrapping as services and dependencies. So ideally, you would not want to do new. Geez, why do I have so much? Oh, I'm sitting on this. Collapse that. Ideally, what you want to do is, as MAUI program is booting up, you should be able to register all of your views and use DI right here, which is what you'll notice that their latest thing is doing. Right, so what Foolish Nabble is asking is, do you pay a price to do this? And I don't think it's much, and people have been divided over this with DI for mobile devices. It's how much do you want to register and load up, like at the beginning? Do you take a hit on performance? I don't have an answer. I think it really depends on how much stuff you're doing. Maybe you can lazy load, and then how much is DI costing you as compared to just newing up things as you need. So I don't have an answer, but I think the mobile dev community overall is kind of divided on this. So use whatever you feel is going to work for your project. Yeah. Let's see. What else? Any more questions? No, Android, we got that covered. So yeah. So here's where I stand. So if I look at the default app that you're getting with MAUI 11, it's nice, and I would like to start with this because they added a few things. They have multi-window support now, which is real nice, but I can't actually run this, and I'll tell you why. If I go back here, let's go back, and let's actually look at my .NET. So unless they have pushed out a new bit, like I go all the way back from 3.0, 6.0, .NET 6, that's the production version right now, but they also pushed out a 101, 6.0 101. That is the latest version. So I have the latest .NETs, but in terms of the MAUI bits, I actually cannot run some of my projects here without preview 10, because that's where that was a breaking change between 10 and 11. They cut over into the newer C# 10 things. So if you look at my projects here, there are no using statements, right? This is like a file scoped namespace, so you are saving like one level of indentation. It's nicer in the way it does things. There is a global usings file somewhere in your OBJ directory. I always have a hard time finding it. let's see, where would that be? Debug, and let's say iOS, if I've done an iOS build on this. Right there, actually. Yep. So you see that that's all the global usings, and they're just like out of the way. They're there in your project, and based on the type of project you are building, they just give you a bunch of namespaces to begin with, and then you can have your own global using file where you don't use these using statements all over your file, so it's nice and clean. So they had this cutover thing, and some of my bits or my projects that were started in MAUI preview 10 and before, they don't run on the latest things, but the latest things also don't run on the older bits. So I'll show you what. Isaiah 511, cool. I never knew we could do cross-platform. Yes. Oh, you're in for a surprise. This is preview, but you have been able to do this for the last 6-7 years now. So what we're essentially looking at is you want to look at something called Xamarin. So Xamarin is an open source mobile platform for .NET and C# devs to write cross-platform apps for iOS and Android. So yeah, you absolutely can. This is the present production reality, but there are some pain points in this which they're trying to address. So Xamarin Forms essentially is evolving into .NET MAUI. So that's what we're talking about. Okay, so back to this. So preview 12 is out, preview 11 is out, and preview 11, like I said, it brings in these new templates and the C#10 stuff. So I'm actually sitting on preview 10 of MAUI, and if I do a build, you will see, let's have a list of all of my most commonly used commands here. Let's do an iOS command. So we are sitting at, let's go into MAUI 11 hello and clear, so this moves up. And if I do a .NET build for iOS, it's going to fail, I think, unless something changed. Oh, Food is just asking a nice question here, which I'll try to get to in just a second. I have a feeling, even if this works, I need to update my runtimes because I'm going to get into more trouble. No, it actually fails completely. So it's saying, I don't know what MAUI app delegate is, and a whole bunch of errors. What Fullschnabel is asking is, what do we get? Well, let's go back here. What we do get are new templates, right? So if I do a .NET new -- help, right? Ooh, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. So .NET new, oh, list is what I want, not help. Okay, you see these templates? These are like the 5-6 templates that we have for .NET MAUI. These are all updated to use C#10. So they all get file scope namespaces. They all get global usings, and just if you're doing like any syntactical like link type things, those are better. So it's using C#10, which it didn't before. So in the past you had like using statements all over. Now it's just cleaner. So that's one of the C#10 benefits that you get. So all of the C#10 features, which I'm not a language geek, whatever you want to use with C#10, now you can on top of MAUI. So essentially, that was a change. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's go back. And where were we? Okay, so we need to go back in. And actually, before I go back in, I need to update. So you can understand that my build fails because I'm sitting on MAUI preview 10, but I really need preview 11 to be able to run these newer projects, right? So what I'm going to do is a .NET workload. So everything is a workload, right? And we're going to say update, right? So that is going to give me the newest MAUI workloads. And sometimes they include the templates, but sometimes I might actually have to install the templates separately. Ooh, okay. So no permissions. How about sudo? Sudo is the thing you stick into everything, right? To get things to work, which is wrong. But this is fine for now. what it's trying to do is like it's changing a .NET workload for MAUI and a few other things. So it's saying, yeah, you need to have elevated permissions to do that. Okay, so right now it should be fetching all the things, Microsoft.NET SDKs and workloads and Android and MAUI and Mac OS and Mac Catalyst, all the things. Full Schnabel, how are you doing? And the Tiger, haven't talked to you folks in quite some time. It's my first like real stream this year. Things have been busy, kind of getting started. Yeah, yikes. But we had a big conference last week, so I was out, and finally I'm back home and getting the groove of things. Okay, so you can see that it installed a bunch of workloads for me, which is what I need. But just for safety, I'm also going to do a .NET workload install MAUI, which I think it has those, but I always run it anyways. So what I don't know is at this point, I think it's actually getting me preview 12 if they have the bits out already. It's complaining about something, which is fine. Yeah. Tiger is saying, life's been busy, not always easy to get here since you are on while I'm at work. Yes, I hear you, Tiger. Yeah. I've considered maybe streaming sometimes like late at night, but and I still might. Sometimes like, with kids, sometimes your zen is after they're in bed and you get the time to write some code or do some like writing, but you're also tired towards the end of the day, so it's difficult. But I'll try to consider some more options, so maybe late afternoon or late night. Anyways, so I think I'm updated now. So if I go back to my workload and if I try to do the iOS build, hopefully it works now, because now I am running on preview 12 and I'm trying to run a project that was created with preview 11. Oh boy. Tiger, I need to know what you're drinking. Or coffee or whatever. 4 kids, that's a lot. That's a lot of energy that you have to soak up. But good for you, good for you. We struggle with just one. And yeah. But kids are so much fun, they just take up a lot of your time. Yeah. Monsters. Yeah. Thankfully, in our neck of the woods, schools are still open and going fine. Parents whose kids are sick are doing the right thing of keeping them home, so the rest of the school can go on as intended. So it's still in person and going strong, so that's good. My boss has 10. My goodness, 10 kids. That's like over like 12 years of baby making and diapers. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. Good for them. All right. So this works, right? That's good. So now I'm not sure which version of MAUI I'm on, preview 11 or preview 12, if they have the bits out, but at least I can run them. If you have multiple wives, oh geez, no, foolish Neville, don't do that, don't do that. That's funny. It's not like multi-threading, there are consequences, there are prices to pay. Oh boy. Okay. So this is good, and the one other thing I need to do is also update the UI bits. Oh, you're in Utah. Oh no, you're not going to hear me say anything about any fate or the whole multiple ways of doing things, but to each to their own. To each to their own. Okay. Everything is multi-threading, yeah. No, there some people say nothing is really multi-threaded. Everything comes back to some sort of funnel and a stopping point. Even with multi-threading, you have to collect the threads and bring it all together, right, at some point. So if your UI is hung up on something, then you got to play that waiting game. The Tiger, my great uncles, each had 50 kids. My goodness, 5 or 6 wives between them, maybe. Jeez. Good for your uncles. Like I said, I struggle with 1 wife and 1 kid. I don't know how I can handle more. Okay, so this is good, and let's go back here because I need to get my UI bits updated as well. So if I go out here, yesterday, as of yesterday, you will see the Telerik and Kinder UI releases are out, which means fresh bits. And let's look at the MAUI stuff, because I don't think we have a new MAUI bit as of yesterday. Lemurs wrote a new article called Single Project in MAUI. So look at that. But we did ship with preview 11, right? So those new bits are out, and we're up to like, how many? Like 15 plus controls, 13 plus. But if you count all the different iterations of charts and graphs, then we are up to a lot more. Most of us benefit the most from async, though. Yes, async and await is great. It's really great. Just don't return void, because I always return void, and I'm told I'm bad at this because I should not be returning void and always passing the parcel back so that somebody can look inside the parcel of what's been returned from an async and await and following up on that thread. But anyways, I digress. I'm bad at some of these like core language things. So I'm amazed at some folks who understand what's happening with the state machines like so much better than I do. All right, so I want to get this because I want to list out some things. So the reason why I'm getting all of this is because of actually, since we are here, let me show you, because I started this last year at some point, but we never really got anywhere, and now the bits have changed, so I think I need to just like start afresh. Every Monday, if you are into dotNET MAUI, you may have interest in this. So I have a thing called Sands of MAUI, which is essentially a newsletter type thing. I'm up to like 40 issues every Monday, so it's been going for 40 weeks now. Right? Started about March or early March of last year. So every Monday I put out this post where I try to highlight the things that are from Microsoft and from the community. Things like if you are wanting to just follow along and just keep on top of MAUI, this should be your hopefully one place to go and get the news. Now, several folks have pointed out to me that this is something they have to bookmark and remember. So I'm trying to make this an app, so you don't have to remember. I can send you a push notification to say, hey, a new issue is out. You should go check it out. So I'm going to write the Sands of MAUI app on stream, and we started with just the basics last year. But I need to pull a list of these issues from the cloud and show them. So I need a list view, and that's why I need the Telerik bits. And again, I don't have to, but it's just nicer. It's a little bit on steroids. So I need to get that stuff. So let's actually go and get just the MAUI bits because I don't need all of this stuff right now. So I go into MAUI, try now. Login, okay. Fine. I have multiple accounts, as you can envision, but this one should do. That's tied to my personal thing. Okay, so you get a package. Now let me check where my versions are before I actually run this. If I go into my documents, progress. Okay, here's where all of our stuff lives. So the last MAUI that I have is 0.20, and this was MAUI preview 9, I think, but then the newest bits run on preview 11. So I want to see what we did. And then this is all, experimental and preview, so it's free for you to kind of try things out. And this is the classic Mac warning, right? So system preferences, security, no, not that, there you go. So it's blocking that, and I can say open anyways. Yes, it's trusted. It's a matter of the certificate. This is not out like production ready, so we don't fix that cert until we are ready with 1.0. Okay, continue. Yes, I agree. Install. Okay. Because that's the password thing. I can do it on screen with the password or through my watch. It's the Apple walled garden, right? Things work together nicely. But just don't you leave the walled garden, because things break apart very quickly. Okay, so right there we got a 3.0. Okay, so we have kind of gone into semantic versioning now, waiting on 1.00. Hopefully by April, May timeframe, because we will ship pretty much when MAUI ships. Okay, so we got 3.0. Let's run this, because like binaries are here for all the different platforms. We have an example app, SDK app. So let me close that, and let's go, and actually let's close this, because I can actually pull this up right here and run it. Finder, open a terminal folder right there. No, I think I need to go into SDK. What is it called? SDK. Oh, I actually didn't finish this installer. Okay, yes, close. And see, I like this. Like when you're done with the installer, move it into the trash. Okay, SDK, and the SDK is going to have all of this SDK browser project. So let's go into that, and we're going to fire up a build and see if it works on the latest bits, because this is running on preview 11. The tiger is yay, walled gardens. Yeah. No. Wait, oh, this is a different error. We know how to fix this. It's not able to find my provisioning profile. Great. I know how to fix that. It just needs that wildcard thing. Oh, Curious Drive, good to see you. Good to see you, brother. This is Curious Drive. I'm doing well. Hope your holidays were nice and relaxing. Good to see you. Curious Drive is from the other corner of my big state of Pennsylvania, from the Philly area. Good to see you. We are kind of a snow-walled state right now. We had a lot of snow, so still trying to dig out of it, but we are fine. It snowed a lot, yes. I was telling folks while we got started, we broke our, like we get a lot of snow and then we're used to it, but we broke our single day record of about 2 feet of snow in a 18-hour period. So that was quite a bit. So just shoveling all the stuff out of the driveway. So the driveway is now like a channel with like snow walls on either side. I can't get to my front door yet, but yeah, at least the cars can get in and out. Okay, so this is the project, and if I look into the CS project, so we are looking at dotNET MAUI, folks. If you're just joining, we updated to the latest bits because some of my older projects didn't work with the latest MAUI 11 or 12. So we updated, and now I'm updating my UI stack, which is the Telerik stuff, and then we'll get back to the app, which I think at this point I might want to just restart from scratch because we haven't done much, and things will just keep on breaking if we bring the older things back. Okay, so let me show you what it's complaining about. Or did they change things? Let's see. Oh, they have changed the project here quite a bit. But application ID. So see that one here, it says Telerik. I want to say Sam because I have a wildcard provisioning profile, so this gets to Apple stuff. The Apple needs a provisioning profile and a cert to be able to deploy apps to main devices, but for some reason it's complaining about the simulator as well. So I'm going to just change this and hopefully it picks up. Are we doing any Blazor MAUI today? Well, we might. Because, and I'll show you that in just a second. Yes, I do need to go into Blazor MAUI. But let's run this for a second, and I'll tell you why we need to do a little bit of Blazor MAUI. Okay, let's do an iOS build. Let's see if it picks up. Looks like it did. So you see that iOS team provisioning profile, com sam start, that's the wildcard. So I think it's picking it up and deploying, which it really should not be asking on a simulator. I don't know why it does sometimes. It's all the Apple stuff. So while this is deploying, let me go back. Oh no, it's actually out pretty quickly. So let's give it a second, and then I'll talk about where I might need a Blazor web view. All right, so splash screen with the progress indicator or the logo, and look at that. That's the new SDK style project. It's super simple looking. Everything is in one view, but this is just to kind of showcase all the UI that we have, right? So charts, like look at the number of charts we have. If you count all the charts, we're up to like 24 to 30 different controls. Data grid is in there. Yeah, look at that. This is the first time we have a data grid that works on iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac, which is nice. So yeah, my UI stack also works on Preview 11. So I would need the list view actually to do some of the things that I need. Okay, so to get back to Curious Drive's question, what is it that we're doing? Are we going to do MAUI? Blazor. So I'm back to how many rows and columns can you get into that grid? Well, are you talking about the grid which showed you just the list of all the UI? Because there's no limit. You can throw however many you want. But we have a internal project which, like, eventually when MAUI ships, we'll make it public. But we have always done this for every platform. Like on a grid, wherever we throw a grid, we have an internal like benchmarking project where we try to bind 1 million records on the client side on the grid and see how the virtualization works, how well does it scroll and stuff like that. So it's working out pretty well. We just need to polish up a whole bunch of things and bug fixes and all that. So yeah, it'll handle a lot. A data grid, 1,000 rows plus 200 columns. Yeah, it'll handle that. And the whole trick with that is virtualization. So we cannot be rendering 1,000 rows or like 200 columns because the user cannot see all of that. So we have to be careful in like what is my visual tree rendering and how much can we bind. And as you are scrolling, we bind to the next 200 or so. So virtualization is very difficult, and when done well, it actually has wonderful results performance-wise. If you make it 1 pixel by 1 pixel, then yes, you can see it all. I'm digressing here, but like we look at enterprise customers and what they're doing with some of our grids, and it's a little scary at times, and we're like, don't do so much of stuff on the client side, because then eventually you're going to complain it's slow. But you should not be binding thousands of records to the grid at the same time. We will try to do our best, with virtualization, but piecemeal things, paginate, and yeah, my users want all the columns. Even though they can't see it, they just want all the columns. Yeah. Okay. So back to Curious Drive. So your question. This is that newsletter type thing that I want in an app. So when you launch the app, it should show you all the issues which come out. Every issue comes out every Monday. But here's what I'm thinking. Like when you look at every issue, it is already nicely formatted for the web. I don't want to redo the work. Like when you tap on an issue, when you look at the details, I don't want to reformat any of this stuff, right? It's already HTML. It has, styling to it. It has images in it. I want to display this as you see on the web, right? So I'm not going to really use much of Blazor, but I'm thinking that I do need a web view that I can just like stick this in, so I'm not having to redo that thing. And also part of this is like, where does this come from? So right now, all of these Sands of MAUI issues, they go into a CMS, which is our CMS, which is Sitefinity. And the easiest way to get it out is just grab the whole HTML and just like serve that up, right? So that way I'm not dealing with styling it over and over again. Foolish Navel is saying, oh wait, users are also dumb. Can you main detail data grids? Yeah, absolutely. We absolutely can. we get stuck doing what the users want. Yeah. Why do they have 10 plus project solutions? Well, I mean, that's the whole point of the single solution, right? So hopefully for MAUI, we're not having 10 plus projects, if that works. I can help you out with Blazor. Yes, Curious Drive. I know you're an expert. Yeah. Okay. Let's start. So Curious Drive. I need a few more things before I can get to the Blazor side. I need to at least pull this into a list view, and then when you tap, like to what you were asking, like the master detail thing. So I need to show a list of issues first, and then when you tap on it, then you go into the detail view, which will be a giant web view. Okay. I got the stuff here, and it's going to take me a while. I'm going to build this out every week. The whole app, I want to build this out on stream. Okay, so let's close this out, and let's actually restart with the latest MAUI bits, right? Fridge table, they have problems with users that they need solutions. Sometimes they ask for the horse-drawn cart when they use a cart instead. Yes. Beloved users and business analysts and folks who write up the docs, we sometimes don't agree with the requirements. Maybe we just need to show them more options, more solutions. Like, have you considered that you could look at things this way as compared to wanting all a million records all in one view? Okay, so let's go back here. I don't even know where I'm at. I'm just going to start from scratch. All right, and what I might want to do is just blow away what I had in the past. So this is CLI projects. This was the old Sands of MAUI project that I had started. Didn't go much, so let me just take a look. Views, didn't have any views. View models. Services. Oh, I was using Azure Cosmos DB. So that reminds me, I need to bring that over. I have a console application that just pulls a couple of issues back so I can start working. I had the package. Oh, I need to get the MAUI package for Telerik, and then I have models, issue list. Okay. So I can actually blow this away. I don't need that. This is old. I want to start afresh. Okay. I don't have a directory, so let's make that Sands of MAUI. All right. Let's go into Sands of MAUI. Excuse me. Okay, I think I might be better off with the Blazor template or the MAUI template. No, I think I want to start with the MAUI template because I don't need the Blazor stuff. I just need a web view which I can just stick in a Blazor web view for just the detail page. I don't need to start with Blazor because I won't have any Razor pages. I just want a web view. So I think I'm just going to start with .NET New MAUI. Okay, it's done. And let's open this up. Okay, here we go. I should trust this more. Like the terminal in VS Code, I don't use it as much. I should, because I don't have to then keep a terminal open. Should I start using this? Maybe. Oh, you folks are saying a lot of things. I have to read now. C# is the only way to develop MAUI apps, so I can use .NET language. Oh, okay, that's good actually. Let's try to address that. Hold on. Where is it? Yeah. This is a loaded question. Foolish dabble. People get a little worked up over this. I had, I'll tell you a story. So right now it is C# only, right? F# might come along, but it's just a minority of people. I was at Dev Intersection. That's a big conference that happens multiple times in a year. I was in at the Vegas conference in December, and I'm talking about MAUI, and this gentleman in the front, I can see that he's getting agitated, and eventually he raises his hand and is like, what happened to VB? I spent like 10 years in VB. And I'm like, yes, I hear you, but for Microsoft, for us, like we have to cater to, like, engineering is costly, so we have to cater to the masses first. So it is C# for now. Will VB or F# come along? Hopefully, but not at the start, right, when MAUI ships. So that's where we are at. The Tiger is saying, love the terminal. Okay, I'm going to use the terminal, or try to. And back to what we were talking with, users, inconsistency. I'm just highlighting your messages, not even actually. I'm reading it while I'm highlighting it. They must have it, then they figure it out it was a bad idea, then decide your way might be better, but yes, gotta build for users. Yes. Okay. I never use VS Code terminal, but some people swear by it. Especially being able to split multiple times as I'm working. Yeah, VB deserves some love. I don't know, maybe I should. I'll try to use the terminal here and see if I can just like stay in one spot. I guess like I'll have to switch between code and the terminal view where it's just like a alt, like command tab, easy switch. I just don't want to clutter up this thing, because I do want to see that, like, the output when I'm building a little easier. Oh, and actually, speaking of this, let me show you something that decisions that kind of split us. So take a look at what Fritz posted yesterday. Where is it? Oh, this one here. Look at that. So Fritz, my good friend here, is using vertical tabs in VS Code, or Visual Studio in this case, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But again, whatever floats your boat. If that's what I mean, if you have an ultra wide monitor, maybe this thing is nice. I'm just like my brain is not wired to see my list of files right there. I mean, your Solution Explorer is vertical, and you can just like click on whichever file that you want to go to. I don't know why I need to see my open files vertically and lose horizontal real estate that way, but yeah, whatever works for you, right? All right, where are we? Okay, let's go back here. So we have the default, and let's see if this will actually build. Let's do a build for iOS first. The Tiger is saying the vertical tabs might take more sense if you have lots of tabs open at the same time. Yes. Some mental, boundaries that we have to cross to use things differently. Excuse me. All right, build for iOS. Now, one thing I have noticed is with MAUI projects, as you start building, the Mac Catalyst part of the build has issues more than the iOS builds. So let's see if we can build for both, and as we go along, at what point does Mac Catalyst break? Because it does break at times. Okay, this is good. Now let's also do, because I haven't changed anything, so Mac Catalyst should work. Because it literally is the Hello New World, like Hello World project, right? Okay, so Mac Catalyst build, you can't see it because it's down at the bottom here, but Mac Catalyst build. Come on, do me a build. Excuse me. Oh geez, it's all been like 48 minutes just updating stuff and getting started. Yeah, it's the price we pay of being in the bleeding edge of things, right? Yeah, look at that. Mac Catalyst build works for now. So native Mac desktop application, same thing. All right. So we're good so far. We're good so far. Now let me add a bunch of things here, and I need some stuff. All right, let's break things up. So we need services. We need views. We need view models. If I can type. We should have a model as well. So I'm doing kind of MVVM without a framework until like I feel the need that I do need a framework. Yeah. Okay. And let me remember what we are pulling back, because I was using Azure Cosmos DB. So I think I had like initial setup here. Use that. No, I don't want a recommendation right now. That one here. Deployment is complete. Go to resource, Sands of MAUI backend. Okay, so that's my Azure backend. And that's the one I want to serve up the issue list from. And then for each issue, I want to serve up the HTML from. And I mean, I could have done it differently, like relational databases, but this almost sounds like a document. You know, you're serving up like an HTML blob, essentially. Okay, so I had two, I don't know what you call it, data nodes, essentially. I have the issues and I have the issue list. So if I go into the issue list, I don't have stored procs, items. Yeah, there we go. So two items here. One, and this is all like JSON, right? So that's my Sands of MAUI issue 1 and issue 2. So you can envision that I'll have like 40 issues right here. And each of them is going to have like multiple metadata things. And then when you tap on one, we're going to carry the ID to the detail page and so on. Containers, yes. Thank you. Those are containers. I don't understand all the things that Azure Cosmos DB does, actually, to be honest with you, because they have multiple... oh, this is interesting. You can actually do this. So Data Explorer node, the blade kind of opens up on the right. But they have different types of data models that they can work with. I think this is SQL. They can do Gremlin, and they can do like 4 or 5 other things. It's very powerful. But this is super simple. It is essentially, well, I mean, there is nothing SQL about this, but it's like blobs of storage that we're going to pull out of certain containers. I heard it's very important what you select as a partition key. Very hard to change if you mess it up. Oh, partition key. What is a partition key? Please do tell here, Foolish Navel, because I don't know what I might be shooting myself in the foot with. Because like all I have is like 2 of these containers. I have the issue list and I have the issues. The actual issues, I don't know if I have anything. Issues, items. Oh, I had a HTML body, so that's what I was thinking. Like I'll carry the ID from the issue list, and then I'll do a lookup on the MAUI issues and find the corresponding ID. So I don't know if that's the partition key, but I'll see. I'll see where I have messed up. Okay, I'll find out. But first is the issue list, and then we'll get to the actual issues. Okay, so I want to pull back this list, and I had. Partition key is different from ID, but you can see it on the container. Ooh, on the container. Settings. Indexing policy. Yeah, that's all standard. But for 2 objects, it doesn't matter. Okay, good. I'll need to read up on. I don't know exactly what partitions would be here. Like how things are being stored and then how they're retrieved. So I hope I'm doing this right for 2, but I mean it won't have 2. Eventually this will have like 40 and 50 and more, because like I put out that issue every Monday. So eventually searching through it, or at least pinpointing it and retrieving one issue is going to be important for me performance-wise. But looks like we have something to start with. Let's look at this. I think I had a console project. Where is my console project? That's one, Cosmos test, I think. Yes. Last November is when I was doing this. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is a project which has, I need to bring in that NuGet package, of course. And this is my program.cs, threading, blah, blah, blah. It has some strings and primary keys, Cosmos client, database, container. Oh, so that is the container that you were talking about, full schnabel. Sands of MAUI issue list. I just listened to some Twitch streams on Cosmos. Okay, yeah. Now I need to learn more about Cosmos, but I'm just like scratching the surface here. So that is the name of my database essentially, which is like this guy, right? No, it's this guy. No, issue list. No, hold on. The database name is this one. And then inside of the database, this issue list is what's called a container. Okay, all right. So this one's the database, and then this one is the container. And then I have a container ID, main program, hello world, async and await, get started. So it'll come down here, new up the Cosmos client, getting the database by database ID, and then getting the container by container ID, and then do a query items async. And that does, so this is the SQL part of what I was talking about. And I don't know exactly why this looks like SQL, even though it is essentially a document, but the syntax may be SQL. So select star from C, which is, C is what? I don't know what C is, but this is straight out of the docs. Running query, query definition, SQL query text. So maybe they assume C is the container. So I have a thing called issue list. So issue list is just this, name and published when, so the date. And I want to create a list of things. So while the query has more results, we're going to keep on reading, read next async, and for each result we find, we're going to stick it in here and said this. So yeah, so select star from C. Yeah, that's the SQL API. Yes, it has a SQL query engine as far as I know. That's what I'm using, yes. So it's not SQL data, but it's a SQL query engine. Yeah, and I think if I run this in debug mode, maybe it will show up. I haven't run this in a while. Package is restored. Where's my output? Wait, that's the output. Oh, there were a bunch of errors. Oh no, exited with code 0. You don't want that. Okay, this used to work. Let's do a build. It's quite common that SQL DBs support JSON as well these days. Yeah, it is JSON we are pulling by. Oh no, it worked. What happened here? You see that? Build is successful. Oh, while it's doing a build, it wrote out. That's weird. Console write line. But see, that's what I want. It read Sands of MAUI issue 1 and issue 2, because that's pointing to those containers, and that's where it's coming out of. So why did it not work the first time around? So it's running. Packages successfully restored. Oh, I was looking at the application output, which is empty, and the terminal output is what we want, because it is a console app. Okay, well, it works. So I will have to do a few things differently, but this is a good starting point. Like definitely these like keys, they are coming from my Azure account, right? So I want to maybe put them in a what's the thing called, the Azure key vault thing. So it's not something I have to keep in my configuration. It's just something I put it out like as an Azure key that I can look up, but those are all like secondary steps. First thing is to do this from the MAUI app that we just did from a console app. Okay, let's start. Do you need to dispose the iterator? That is a good question. This is the iterator. Does it not dispose by itself? Like I'm in a async, when I come out of it, does it not dispose by itself? Because I'm not doing anything else. This piece of code is like straight out of Cosmos docs. So if they need us to dispose, they should tell us. Okay. Yeah, we're good. We've added a bunch of things here to the MAUI app, and it's still starting off here as my main page. And that is starting up. Well, they might leave us as fun surprise for you to discover in production. Well, you hope not. You hope not. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Once I actually get the code in the MAUI app, we'll see. I mean, I can add or dispose. So in my views, wait, how did views become a? This was meant to be a folder. Delete that. New folder called views. There you go. Okay, now in the folder, I want new file. Okay, so let's call this issue list view. I hate adding things like this by hand, but VS for Mac support is rather flaky at this point, so this is fine. Issue list XAML, and I should also add issue list view .xaml.cs. Okay. So let's see the things we need. I'm gonna copy that whole thing. Let me see if we broke anything. Let's do a Mac Catalyst build. Hopefully nothing more. No, we definitely broke things. Counter level. See, this is what I'm talking about. Things just break when you add things in MAUI projects for Mac Catalyst at least. Let's try the same build for iOS. No. I have broken things, and I haven't even done anything to break it. What did I do? Oh, geez. Okay. Delete that. Delete that. Okay, I haven't done anything here. MAUI. I have just done. These are all folders. They're all empty. Haven't done anything here. I should change that to Sam. That's my wildcard. All right, hold on. Let's do a .NET restore. And now let's do an iOS build. I think it got confused because I added a XAML file and I just didn't even give it anything. So it was like, I don't know how to new this up. You might need this, but I don't know how to new this up. All right, I get it. Yeah, there we go. We're back in business. So before I start adding new views, what I might try doing is just like going with main page XAML and just like trying to do a HTTP call, hit up Azure and see if I can get that list back. Okay, so we're back in business. We're good. Very good. Okay, so let's add the other things. So I need this. But I can actually be smart about this in how I add it. Okay, so here my let's go into my. Didn't I have a models? Yeah, models. And let's do an issue list. .cs. Now take a look at this in main page XAML. Like I can just define that namespace and be done with it. So I can just copy that over. I don't need to define any other usings because I don't need it. That. Okay. And that's it. I can now define my own partial class. So let's go to this. This was just embedded all in there. We're going to do that. And move that over. I don't need this to be split out, but I'm still going to call this partial issue list. Okay, so this is my POCO object. I'm essentially wanting to get an issue list, and I don't know if this string should be published thing should be a string, should be a date, but I think it's JSON, so I think that's what I had done. Let's stick with that issue list. So in my services now, should be able to add Cosmos service.cs. All right, here we go. So now we're going to still keep it in the same namespace. And what do we need from here? We do need that Azure Cosmos NuGet package. I want to just copy this thing out, but I need a few more things before I do that. Okay, well, let's see how we brought in that NuGet package. It's this guy, right? So item group, package references, Microsoft Azure Cosmos. All right, let's do that. CS proj. And at every stage, we need to go and check to see what we broke. Images, yeah. All right, just one package reference. Okay, let's see if this will build. So, .NET restore. I think that worked, but whole bunch of yellow. That's a lot of yellow. Okay, does the iOS build still work? Jeez. So I have this little thing to kind of put my phone on, and it's just not stable enough. It just keeps falling over. I need to get a better phone stand for my desk. It is trying to build. It is optimizing libraries. It's trying. Oh, I have a meeting at 11:30ish, so another 20 minutes. I may have to wrap it up. Okay, so we're still in business. We have a whole bunch of yellow for reasons I don't know. Why is there so much of complaining, Visual Studio or command line? But it still works. Design issue, yes. Yes, okay. So we're still good. We're still good. This is still working. We now have the Cosmos NuGet package in there. So now we can actually start building stuff. So public partial class Cosmos service. Okay, we can now start bringing things over. This I can close. Check this out. I'm going to take that guy and do I do the global things before namespaces? Yeah. So I'll do that, but I'll say global. Yeah. It doesn't like this type of name. What do you mean? I give you a reference already. All right, let's do a build. See if it recognizes that. Okay. Because if this works, then I can start writing this other stuff, and I can new up a client and a database. Let's copy that. Okay, it's still building. We're still good, unless it crashes. Yeah, so Curious Drive, if you're still watching, like I might take like another 1 or 2 more weeks to get to the Blazor stuff, because I'm literally just trying to pull the issues back and then I can show the issues. So that's my web view part. Okay, we're still good. We are still good. Okay, now without anything else, can I just paste this stuff in here? Now I know these are sensitive keys, so please don't read. I'm just going to put it off here. But I have my endpoint URI, which is what I need. Primary key is here. And Cosmos client, database, this. I may want to do some of this inside of a method. The newing up part is fine. Okay, so let's do a public. What am I going to return? No, what am I going to return? So async task. Okay. Async task. Let's say fetch issue list. Okay. All right. I think these things can be up here. All right, so we have our endpoint, we have our primary key, we have the Cosmos client, we have the database, we have the container, we have the IDs. That's it, right? That's should be all we need. But let's check. Can we build? Do a build. Come on. Where are my emojis? Let's do the chicken ones. Yeah. I haven't used my Stream Deck in a while. Yeah, I had some stuff pre-configured. Oh, I had this guy, which is the freaky, like I'm freaking out, my code is not working, Visual Studio trying to fight you, is that guy. Yeah. Okay, we are still good. We are still good. All right. Can I do the fetch successfully? So in the fetch, we're going to do all of this. Query items async, yeah, that can be a different task because it's kind of wrapping the actual query. So this will be interesting because now we have to read that other class, which is in the same namespace, so hopefully it will read it just fine. Oh, I still have this guy up. Hold on. No, I'm not fighting Visual Studio anymore. I can turn it off. There you go. All right. Okay, now let's see what it's going to break. So we're going to do fetch issue query items async. Sure. QS driver is saying, Sam, what are your machine configuration specs? Oh, okay. Well, I got multiple. This one's a pretty high-end MacBook. It is a MacBook. This was refreshed, so we get like every 5 years we get a refresh. So this one is it's not running macOS Monterey yet because our IT still has that wrapped up and not released for everyone to use, which I mean they should be doing it by now. But it's a 16-inch 2019. It's Intel. It's not M1, so it's a 2.3 GHz i8 with Core i9. So 8 cores, but this one here makes all the difference. The 64 gigs of memory, really all the juices that you can give it. Graphics wise, you got the Intel and the Radeon Pro, so it is a pretty high-end machine because it's good for 5 years, right? So that's what my dev machine is, and then my streaming setup is a tiny Windows box. It's a Windows Nook. It's what we call it, Intel Nook. It's like bare bones, but it has like very good. It's not fanless for sure, but it's one of those like tiny little things that sits like under my desk, but it's got like fans all around. So like streaming wise, it's like the CPU barely spikes. It's very good, and it's an i7, but it works for me. Hopefully that answers what you were asking. But let's see if this will work. So we're going to new up the client here, database, container, and then we're going to do another await. Query items async is fine. Issue list, it is able to, no, feed iterator, where do you think that's coming from? List of issues. I don't want to do this. But list of issues, we are adding a list of issues. This needs to be out there. This can actually be QS Drive. Thank you. Building my MAUI app is taking a long time for that config. What do you say? Yeah, I don't think the MAUI app building is directly tied to my my machine. I mean, it is, everything is in preview, so I think they're and this is command line. The Visual Studio side of things is a little bit more faster, so I don't know exactly what they're doing that it's taking such a long time to build. But like I can build more complex projects much faster, so it may have been just the way MAUI is. Okay, I have a public list of issues. That's good. And then over here, I don't need to new it up. All right. Yeah, and this is the list of issues. I'm going to hand it over to my view models or views as I need them. Okay. Should this work? Will this work? I haven't actually made the call yet, but I'm always afraid that I will break something in the build because things are so fragile with MAUI. Like one namespace here and there is going to mess up the project. So let's see if we are still good. And if I can make like one call out, yeah, this is the part QoS driver that you're talking about. It takes a long time, and I don't think it's just processor. It's just preview systems and command line tools that are slow here. If I can just, like today we started from scratch, we updated our bits to the latest in MAUI, and we got the Telerik bits. If I can just make that one call and actually get that thing down from my cloud service, I'll be happy, and then we can build on it on subsequent days. Okay. Cutting edge could be bloody path. Yes, absolutely. That's why they call it bleeding edge, right? Okay, so at this point, I can come into main page XAML, okay? Right here, if we do a Cosmos service, let's say my service equals new Cosmos service, okay? What did we say it will return? It's gonna return a task. I may have to do an async and await here as well, right? Because otherwise it won't be should I make this one an async? I do need to define this list of issues. Oops, knocked over my Bluetooth or my headphones here. No, I want to just call this, right? We'll figure it out which way to do async. Can I just say my service dot fetch? It's probably going to complain that it's not async. Execution's current method will continue before the call is considered applying await. All right. And then I need to make this guy an async, which I hope it's not going to mess up the way the main page is being invoked by MAUI. Could not be found. What? No, that's just MAUI tooling saying it's bad. Okay. Let's see. Because I think at this point it will make that call. No, it is complaining about async. Why? Okay, let's forget about async. I'm doing it all single threaded, okay? I don't care about the UI thread being locked up. I just want to make a call. Return type. Oh, return type? Did it need to be void? Like, will that fix it? Because I know the await, like I need to get a task back, but I'm just trying to make one call. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, you're not. Okay. Member names cannot be the same as enclosing types. What? Main page, member name. What do you mean member name? All right, hold on. I'm trying to see like what's the bare minimum I can do to make that call. What if I get rid of it? Okay, it at least builds. Okay, so return type public async task main page. Oh, that's what I had to do. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I will do that. Yeah. So this is really bad, but I'm just wanting to make a call and see if it will work. Okay, it's deploying. It is deploying. Okay, it should have made the call. All right, now it's the moment of truth. Oh, I had a bunch of errors. Okay, I get it. I just want to see my stuff. Okay, now in the Cosmos service, I had this, and this was a public list, right? So if this would have ran, now we're going to get into the threading thing, because like if I try reading this before it's full, it might not come back. So let me try what you are saying. Curious Drive. If I do an async, I think the async thing is somehow needs something that the way, like, so that this main page is called like right as the app is bootstrapped, so I'm not sure if I can do an async on the main page constructor itself, but let's find out. No. So there are some things that I have to fix up. So, okay. Oh, Blazer Mr. Magoo is here. Hello. That's constructor. You are turning it into a method. Not sure if that's wise. No, it is not wise. Yes. Absolutely, you're right. So I can break this off into a different method, and then I can do all the fancy stuff. But I'm just trying to see if it will, if this thing is going to work. It's horrible code. I'm not doing an await. It's all single threaded, but I get it. Once I do that, and actually what I can do is I can give it some time to finish. I can do it on the counter clicked, right? Again, I'm just trying to make it work. So if I do my service here, and I can't get to it because my service is not defined up here. All right, hold on. All right, so that's my service, and we're going to get away from me. Okay, new Cosmos service. Now I should be able to refer to this as my service dot. That's my list of issues. Okay, what can I get? Like length, last index? No. What is count? Count should tell me how many things are in it, right? What is count? Is that a method? It's an integer. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this text to this guy. Okay, will this work? So all I want to do is once it finishes looking up the Azure thing. Hey, good afternoon. Yeah, I think you're in UK, right? I hope, if I'm remembering right. Yeah, it's mid-morning for me, almost lunchtime. So good afternoon to you. Okay, so at this point, when the MAUI app launches, we are doing a horrible thing of not doing an await, but we just want to fire off a request to my Cosmos DB backend, and I want to pull back a list of issues, and I want to just see how many I got, right? And set the counter label to that. Will this work? One way to find out. And if this works, this will be a good start for a day. So Blazer Mr. Magoo, what we're doing is like I started from scratch. I had an app before, but this is a MAUI app, so I had to update my MAUI bits, update my Telerik bits, update all the things, and now we started from scratch. We are trying to make an app which was going to pull back a list of things, and then it'll have a master detail page. So let's see if this will work. No. Oh, that's easy. It's a string. Okay, that's easy. To string. How about that? This is horrible code, but I just want to see, is it calling out to Azure? And then we can refactor. We can have a nice view. We can have a nice view model and all the fun things. I have a meeting in 2 minutes, which is fine. It's the internal thing. I can show up a little late. That'll be fine. Just do this one build for me, please. All right. Moment of truth. Okay, so it's loaded up and we fired it off on await and hopefully it comes back. No, got me a 0. Okay, well, it didn't at least break, but I was hoping for 2 because that's how many it should have gotten. So maybe it's not entirely functional, but we can work on this. This is a starting point. Nothing is like, you get those red squigglies, but nothing is breaking so far. So we need to look through and see what exactly did we break, because it should have gotten 2. This one is an async await. This one is not. Maybe I just need to put this in a async mode. Okay, let's try this one quick thing. Okay, let's see if that's what's breaking it. Okay. Let's get that guy out. Put it here. Fetch stuff. Okay. And now I can do an await here. But this one's going to keep asking me. That's fine. What did we exactly do here? My service list of issues is count a thing gets the number of elements contained in the list. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. All right, let's try this one last time, and then I have to run. But we've gotten a starting point, I think. iOS. Come on. What does it actually start with? Let's see. That XAML essentially starts out current count as 0. Okay. So it loads up. We will wait a second. Let it finish because it is on an await. You think? By now it's done. Click. No, still 0. Okay. Well, we'll have to debug through and figure out, are we making the right call? Why are we not getting those 2 back? Did we, hold on. Can we just do, well, if count is 0, then I'm not going to get anything out of it. So something is breaking in the way we are using the Cosmos service. Okay. All right. Well, it's a starting point. This is a brand new app now, and it's catering to the preview 11 bits in MAUI, so everything builds on top of this. So we will just move this forward. I'll try to debug what's going on, and I'll try to build this all on stream, so kind of pick up from exactly where we left off next week. So we'll pause it as is, so I can go to my meeting, and then you all can get back to your stuff. But yeah, thank you to everyone who was hanging out with me. Curious Rive and Fullschnabel, Blazer Mr. Magoo, and everyone else. Good to see you all. First stream of the year, actually. So Curious Drive will get into Blazor stuff next week, hopefully, if I can just pull back a list, and we'll move things forward. Okay? All right, folks, that's it from me, and I'll see you next week. Okay? Bye-bye.